Kristin Aquilino stands outside a locked black door that has a sign that reads, "Authorized Personnel Only." You're about to enter a room that has more white abalone than exist in the ocean, which is both terrifying and an incredible opportunity to save them, she says. Aquilino runs the white abalone captive breeding program at UC Davis Bodega Marine Laboratory in California. "I basically manage a really specialized fertility clinic, spa and nursery for an endangered sea snail," she says. This was not exactly Aquilino's childhood dream. She admits she didn't know what an abalone was until she arrived in California as a grad student. But she learned quickly. There are 7 species native to the Californian coast, and in 2001, white abalone became the first marine invertebrate to be listed as endangered. White abalone have the bad luck of being known as the most tender and delicious, and in the 1970s they were fished nearly to extinction. Today, diving for wild abalone is prohibited in California. There are commercial abalone farms, but Aquilino and her team have been working since 2011 to get enough animals into the ocean to remove the species from the endangered list. "I could not have imagined as a kid growing up in Iowa that I would be in charge of saving an endangered sea snail," Aquilino. The 20,000 or so abalone in her lab range drastically in age and size. In the juvenile culture rack, the smallest hatchlings are just a few hundred microns across, about the size of a speck of vanilla bean in your fancy ice cream. It takes 2 to 4 years in the lab for the abalone to go from a speck to the inch-long juveniles ready to be introduced to the ocean. In another tank are 21-year-olds that were spawned during the very first year of the program. Aquilino's best guess is that abalone can live 40 years or more in the wild. The 10 biggest animals in the lab were captured between 2004 and 2019 and are now a bit bigger than a softball. But these seniors can't retire yet. Aquilino says they're some of her most prolific spawners. She points to green 312 clinging to the side of a tank. "There's a special animal in here," she says. She's one of the animals who've spawned most in this program. She's spawned 20 million eggs at one time. And that's our hope, to get all these animals to spawn that much regularly. So, how do the researchers convince the animals to make babies? Spawning white abalone is a really romantic process, Aquilino says. "We put them all in their own individual buckets. We put a love potion of hydrogen peroxide in those buckets, place some berry white, and hopefully they give us whatever gametes they have." Aquilino says the researchers have in fact played Barry White's hit "Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe" in the lab during spawning season.